applications and new innovative tools. So something that is more, let's say, digitally developed than it used to be before. So I find such kind of events very, very interesting and useful for career development in general and for better content creation.
Thank you, Maria. Yeah, a few words about Amazy Mastermind. What we usually do is we try to answer all the questions that you can see here. Paulina is sharing her screen. Thank you, Paulina, for helping us today. Yeah, we will try to brainstorm and find the answers together, and everyone will try to share their experience about each of the questions, okay? So before we start, does anyone have any questions, anything in particular you would like to ask or share? No, nothing. Okay. Then again, a few words about myself. My name is Ekaterina, and I am Amazy co-founder and CEO. I previously taught English, and I previously managed an online school, an offline and online school. So I have some experience in managing teams, teaching, and creating digital projects for teachers. Yeah, I hope my experience will also help you today. So the first question is pretty much about business and team management, which is very exciting and interesting. How to effectively lead a team and how to create a teamwork environment that fosters creativity and encourages the team members to be the best version of themselves. Wow, I wish I knew. I'm just kidding. Okay, anyone would like to share their experience or some theory or a situation, a case, anything? I'm sorry for my dog. He's barking here. Okay, then I will try to ask each of you directly then. Osama, what about you?
That was actually my question. And
Oh, really?
okay, maybe, yeah, I asked this question. Maybe I'll take some time to think. I haven't prepared anything. Yeah.
Okay. Anastasia, what about you?
Ooh, same here. I wish I knew. I wish I knew. I mean, it just like I guess it comes with experience. The more you do, the more you know, on how to do it better, let's say. But I guess it's about cooperation and about the dialogue. So you just have to hear what other people like are saying, and maybe you should let's say not only tell them when they did something wrong, but when you have some positive feedback about them, so you should just make some time to like text them or talk to them directly and tell them, okay, I've noticed that you've been doing like great recently, so thank you for your hard work, etc., etc. So just like being supportive, let's say.
I think there is a connection with pedagogy, right? Because it's all about support. Paulina, what do you think? I know you had some experience in managing teams of teachers, so can you share it?
Well, on the one side, I can share my experience of being in a team led by you as an inspirational leader. On the other hand, yes, I have been a director of studies. I was a director of studies for quite a while, and I took a lot of my inspiration, again, from you. But out of all this, what I can single out is that you have to show people that you're on their side and that you have their best interests at heart and that you will always support them and that you're there for them, not only when it comes to professional problems, but also when, people have some personal issues that can affect their work as well. And sometimes it's important to say, I'm here for you. If only you need somebody to listen to your problems and just lend, a shoulder to cry on, that also encourages people to feel more relaxed and trust you and it gives the sense of community, close-knit community in the team, which was really great. So that's one thing that I would definitely say is very important.
Thank you, Paulina. Thank you very much. Larissa, what about you? Do you have any ideas about the answer to this question? Larissa, yeah.
Larissa is here. I had an experience to lead a team, a class, like as a class. I taught before at school during 5 years. So, and I managed big groups, 20, 25 students of 25 students. So today better I will listen how to to efficiently lead the team.
Okay. Maria, maybe you will share any ideas.
I just I'm applauding to all people who can manage classes or particularly people or just who are competent and qualified and literally create really good atmosphere in a team of people. But I'm like really far away from managing people. Never ever had any experience related to that, I'm afraid. So like managing classes, managing groups, it's a completely different experience, and I think it's simply like I wouldn't even contribute any techniques from this particular experience, I think, into like managing people, because it's completely our specific field, and I think that it is really hard work, and it needs some really polished managing skills and negotiating skills, something that people strive for building up within some even years of experience. I think not every like educated leader is a great leader itself, because I used to work for international companies, and I seen all types of managers, and there were some that were trained by some MBA courses, and they couldn't manage people efficiently. So I'm afraid that it's just really like the core principle is just getting enough experience, I guess.
Thank you, Maria. Yes, Paulina.
One more thing that came to mind as I was listening to Maria is that we can always talk about, being supportive and, creating a good atmosphere. But because we're talking about management, it's important to manage people well. And this comes from being transparent into what you expect from people and what kind of results are expected and how the results should be achieved. So if you do not give a clear indication of what you expect the people to do and how you will measure the success of what is done, then it's really hard to work and to achieve anything within this team. So being transparent about the expectations and means of achieving the results and how you will measure these results.
I completely agree with the previous speaker. Yeah, like really. Thank you, Paulina. Elizaveta. Sorry, Osama. Yes, please.
No, okay. Elizaveta can go first.
Elizaveta, please share your opinion.
Actually, I didn't have such an experience. I think it's so hard. So maybe be open-minded. I don't know.
Okay, Osama, what did you want to share?
Yeah, I think the real challenge is to try to find a balance between the flexibility, or what they call laissez-faire, when each one does what they want, and discipline. Because this is the middle between these two is what allows people to stay within the lines and within the limits, and at the same time do their best and be flexible. And I've been thinking about this question a lot, and for a long time. And I thought to ask you, because I think you are a good example of doing that in my opinion. You create a good team, and you also, I think everyone in the team, everyone in the company do their best. The system itself is really flexible. At the same time, there's discipline. But I think the real challenge is really trying to find this balance. And I wanted to know your opinion about this. What else? Yeah, I wanted to say also, I think it's related somehow to psychology, because psychology is psychology of people, and not really deeply in psychology, but understanding what motivates people, what makes people feel relaxed, what annoys people, how to handle conflicts and things like this. These are really difficult things, but and I think theories and approaches are not something that can really help a lot here, but maybe real life examples or practical tips can be really helpful.
Yeah, thank
So
you.
that's what I wanted to share.
Yeah, what I can share is, well, first of all, for me personally, teaching skills and management skills have actually a lot in common, and you even maybe have no idea how capable you are of doing different things if you have this teaching experience, and especially if you have an experience in teaching groups. So basically, teaching a group of people, especially if you work with adults, has a lot in common with managing a team. Because, well, first of all, as Polina mentioned, you have to give some instructions. So basically, before you start your lesson, you give the instructions, and you share what people can expect from this lesson. So the same, you share what people can expect from the job and from some I don't know, like salary expectations, time expectations, the time of the contract, etc. Like there is a lot in common, believe me. Then also support is all about teaching and managing people, because teaching is actually managing people. You need to encourage people to achieve some results, and there needs to be a discipline. The same with management. Support, creating this atmosphere of trust, because if there is no trust in your environment, in the classroom or in the team, no good results will be achieved. And awards, of course, the same as like when you teach, you support people and you share some positive feedback with them. And when you are a team manager, you do the same. But the difference is that, well, some tips or the difference, whatever, just sharing my experience. First of all, when you collect a team of people, when you want to have a team of people, you need to choose how to choose. First of all, you never know, according to the CV, even after the interview, you cannot know 100% that this is the person you need, like you need 100%, or this person suits your team 100%. What you need to feel is whether or not you would like to be friends with this person, whether or not there are some common interests and maybe common life values. This is very important, to share the same values in life with people who you hire to work for you and with people who you select to work in your team, because you have to be on the same wave, sort of, right? I'm not saying that you have to be the same mentality, the same, like, you know, character, because you can be a strong leader and some of your team members can be very gentle, creative creatures, you know, it's okay. But the values of life, you should share it, like really. For example, being honest, being open. I am open in front of you, so choose people who are open in front of you too, right? Something like that. Also, I would say, yes, you need to create this environment of trust. And first of all, you should start from yourself. You should show people that you are ready to take the responsibility together with them. It's not like, I'm giving you this task, do whatever you need to do, I don't care. And at the end of the month, if you don't complete this task, you will not get your salary. No. This is our mutual responsibility, and I'm going to be here for you any minute you need me. and I know that you are going to be here for me any minute I need you. Well, of course, when it's not the middle of the night, when it's like working hours. Yeah. So show people that you take the responsibility for them as a leader, as the boss, or as a friend. You are ready to share your knowledge and experience in order to support them, in order to give them the maximum number of instructions they need, the maximum number of tips they need, some insights, whatever. Mentoring is a very nice thing here. So when you have a team, it's a very good idea to have this one-on-one calls sometimes, for example, once in 2 weeks or once a month, once in 6 weeks, in 6 months, depending on how large your team is and depending on your time, of course. During these calls, you can just share your personal experience of improving your skills or becoming a better version of yourself, facing some challenges, and the same will share your colleague, your team member, right? Basically, it's like a personal mastermind. And it helps a lot because people are becoming more open in front of you, and they can see that you are a real human also, that it's not just like you are the boss and you are somewhere there and it's not possible to talk to you. You are always here. You have like human problems, right? It can be anything, starting from personal issues and finishing, I don't know, some business challenges, right? And it's it's really a great experience when you can have this hour or 30 minutes of just like being together and sharing some things. But of course, you need to understand that being a leader of the team means that you should not, like, if, for example, there is a crisis situation in economics or in the company, you should not show that you feel afraid or that you don't know what the plan is, that you're really scared. At these moments, it's better not to talk to your team and not to share such things, because as a leader, you need to rule the car, you need to rule the bus and your passengers. They should feel safe together with you, right? Nastya, yes, what did you want to share?
Okay, so as you probably know, here we have fast and easy teachers, which is great. And we have some new teachers here, and unfortunately, they haven't got experience of, like, let's say you as a very prominent figure and Polina as a very prominent figure, and our former director of studies, which is pretty sad because you are great leaders in my opinion. You always inspire me. I often look up to you, and just like let's say I actually think a lot of Polina because like I want to be, you know, the feeling that I got when you were the director of studies, when you were the leader in our team. I felt supported. I felt that I could talk to you about my personal matters. You were a friend and you were a boss at the same time. Same with Katya. So I just want to ask you both, how did you balance it? You know, being let's say a good person, a friend, and being a leader without maybe being too familiar with the person. You know, like how did you do that?
Polina?
Honestly, I still don't know how to leverage that. I get too personal with people very quickly because that's just who I am. I make friends. My whole personality is a Labrador, and I'm a Labrador of a person. I make friends with everyone, so that it's very hard to, you know, sometimes take a step back. But I think the experience of teaching my friends has has helped me here. So basically, some of my friends are my students, and I have been able to divide, you know, our friendship and our teacher-student status. So in class, we're teacher and student, and I'm a different person. They're different. They play a different role. And outside of the class, we can continue being friends. And for example, sometimes when the lesson is finished and my friend wants to keep talking, I say, the lesson is finished. I'm not your teacher anymore. Now I'm your friend. And
Speak Russian. I'm not going to correct your mistakes.
yeah. And I say it, I voice it. Like, it's just a psychological thing, but I say, now I'm not your teacher. Now I'm your friend. The lesson is over. And then I switch to being a friend, and they know the difference. They know when this line, is drawn. And the same with your colleagues, I guess, or employees. Like, sometimes you can be friendly with them, but then there are times when you have to be a boss, and they should know that you are making decisions or you are taking responsibility. So you draw the line. Did I answer your question? I don't know.
Also, I have a question for all of you guys. When you say, like, how do you balance, how to have all these roles inside of yourself, what do you mean by switching from a teacher to a friend, or from a friend to a teacher? What's the difference personally for you? Is it the question of personal borders, or don't you have your personal borders when it comes to friendship? Because the same as with my friends, I can say, like, now I'm busy, I can't help you, I'm sorry. So it doesn't mean I'm a bad friend or whatever. For me personally, I would not say that there is really huge difference between me being a teacher, me being a boss, me being a colleague. I would say there is a huge difference between me being a wife and a mom, and me being a teacher and a boss. But when it comes to, like, teaching or management, it's pretty much not, I would not say it's the same, but there is not this huge gap, Yes, Paulina.
Sorry. Just I have an answer to that, actually, like what the difference is. Basically, I think it has happened to many of you, is when you have a student and at some point they say, oh my God, you're like a therapist to me, or you know about me more than my best friend, because you always ask them questions and they always share their personal stories with you, and you know so much about your students. But the problem here is they don't know anything about you. And they're not supposed to. As a teacher, you are not sharing much about yourself, and you're not supposed to share much about yourself. Yeah, you can share some opinions maybe when the lesson requires that. But as a teacher, you do not have the same amount of input in the lesson, or output. I don't know which one is is here. You're not equally sharing in class, but as friends, I can have my problems and I can share them. I can make a joke. I can tell a story that is just, I just want to share the story. In class, I will not do that. I can share a story if that fosters learning, if that is related to the topic of the lesson and will incorporate some target vocabulary or grammar. I will do that. That's the main difference. You cannot be on the same level as a teacher and student, because it's for them. They're the focus.
Thank you, Paulina. Yes, Nastya.
Yeah, I just remembered one story. When I just started teaching and I worked for a different school, everything was quite new. And sometimes some of your students, especially when we talk about individual lessons, some of the students, they kind of align with your own personality, and you find so much common ground. And as Paulina said, they share a lot with you. Like they really do, because it's all about speaking, especially with adults. They want to talk about their experience, their life, etc. And you kind of they get this false sense of knowing you, of maybe seeing you as a friend, and there is nothing bad with that. Like, there is nothing wrong with it. But at some point, like when I worked for a different school, I had this student, and we actually became friends. And I think that happened because at some point I stopped being a teacher so much as I started being her friend, and that was like that was not a good thing to do. Like, now looking back, I understand that. And I remember when I stopped being her teacher, when I didn't really know, how to stop being a teacher and become a friend, like setting boundaries and so on. The dynamic even in friendship, it was really strange because I was not used to like sharing with her, and she would share all the time. So that really, I mean, now we worked it out, like we're still friends. I'm not I'm not her teacher anymore, and she doesn't really need one because like she's in like her level is wonderful and she lives in the UK. But still, it was, you know, an eye-opening experience, definitely. So yeah, really, you shouldn't, let's say, you should always try to maintain the boundaries, like being friendly with your students, being a friend, but probably you should be more demanding because you aren't really demanding of your friends, let's say, but you are as a teacher. So that would be it. Yeah, I'm finished. Thank you.
Thank you, Nastya. Maria, please share your opinion.
I actually like have totally the same experience. And it was I can't say that negative, but definitely there is a fine line between just kind of like making friends, befriending someone, and still maintaining this position of a teacher. It's not like a dominant position, but still like instructional position, mentoring position, and definitely the dynamics is not the same. So I actually had a student who is a political refugee. He lives in Chicago, and for some reasons, he doesn't speak really, just like I would say, even decent English at all. And I kind of like, I was sympathizing his political views, so like we have a lot in common. And at some point, we started like discussing some political issues at the end of the lesson, and I understood that he's just like he has some tempo, and he can literally like switch to another quite dark mood, because again he's in such a vulnerable position, so trying to build a new life in another country, and it was not like this smooth start. And he was just not happy about the methodics. However, it was like communicative approach with like particular methods, like Callan's method. I use a bunch of methods, and he was just like more into like very old school kind of, I would say, outdated approach. And yeah, like he almost like gave up. He almost gave up because definitely had some negative experience of learning English. So I actually decided not to do that again because like it was just my waste of time. So I think it's really not really good approach. So I agree totally with Anastasia. It should be just differently managed. You still can or like exchange some views on some particular topics, but shouldn't like cross this fine line and cross these borders. So in my opinion, so it doesn't work for me. Literally, like for me, it doesn't work. The teacher is a teacher and like mentor and some supporter, but not friend, in my opinion. So
Thank you, Maria.
just
Thank you so much. Osama.
Yeah, I just have a follow-up question to your answer. Thank you very much for your answer, and I wrote down some points. But I want to ask, when you have in your team, when you have different opinions or different values, how do you tolerate that, and how do you deal with that? Especially that if maybe opinions can be tolerated, but if you have different values arising within your team that you are against, so how to deal with that?
Depending of the area of these values. I mean, like it can be some personal stuff, it can be some professional stuff. If it's professional stuff, for me, it's very important that people would have the same professional values in their life, because this is what keeps us together, actually. You cannot work with people who does not share the same professional views, right? Like if there is an amazing teacher with amazing skills and great experience, but they want to teach sitting on the beach in the bikini and it's okay for them, it's totally not okay for us. I mean, it's not professional. Or if it's okay for a teacher to have personal romance with students, it's not okay for us, and it's not professional. So it means that even if these people are great professionals, they are not sharing the same views, the same professional values. So it's not a good fit for us, and we will say goodbye to each other. If we're talking about some personal values, like some people can be child free, some people can love having kids, some people are dog people like me, some people are cat persons, cat people. It's okay. I mean, like, it's your personal life. We respect your views, and it's very important to let people know that, like, you respect their choice, unless it's okay. I mean, like, when there is not a conflict, if it's not a big issue for the company, for the other members of the team, so it's totally fine. Whatever you like, you can have, I don't know, pink hair or whatever, it's okay. But you cannot lie about why you missed a lesson, or if you're not really feeling bad, you cannot, if you're not feeling ill, you cannot say, like, I'm feeling ill and that's why I'm not capable to work this week. So things like that, you know. Okay, I hope
Yeah.
we this question all together, and it actually took us quite a lot of time. I
Yeah.
already was like, tick.
It was a big question, so I
Yeah,
think the
really.
next one, some of the questions will not take as long. It usually happens like this, so no worries.
Okay,
But
the
let's
next
move
one.
on to the next one.
Yeah, how to choose which age group to teach. Lisa, Yelizaveta, maybe you will share your opinion. How do you usually choose which age group to teach?
I don't choose it.
It's me.
Yeah. I just wanted to add about when I was given the first group, I connected to the lesson and nobody spoke to me. And I became a friend. And I usually do this. And now I understand that I should stop doing this. And I should put boundaries. About age group. I have people, I have students who are older than me. So I don't usually choose them. What should I say?
Maybe the question is, when you, especially when it comes to working on Amazy, when you prepare some content for teaching, right? When you create some content, you should be focused on some specific age group, because like further on, you're going to continue creating the same lesson plans. I mean, like for the same age group, and sell it and share it and use it. So that's maybe the question, to define your target audience in terms of age, in terms of, I don't know, profession and stuff like that.
I think it depends on the age, but I have two groups. The first one is younger, another one is older, but all of them like to watch Rick and Morty. Everyone, they were like, I don't have this problem. I mean,
Okay, thank you very much. Larissa, what about you? What do you think? How to choose the age group?
I think that I can cope any ages because I had experience of teaching children of 5 years, 6 years. When my own son was smaller, when he was at age 5, 6, I took such groups, such children. Then now he's bigger, so I lost interest to teach the small ones, and now I prefer teenagers or adults between 20, 30, 35, okay, because it's more interesting to to discuss with them any questions at lessons. So teenagers and between 20-35.
Okay, very nice. Thank you, Paulina.
To me, that always depends on what kind of personality you are and whether you can manage teaching kids. So basically, we can distinguish between teaching kids, teens, adults, and maybe older adults. So that is like a special category all on its own. But teaching kids, you have to know, or maybe lower teens, you have to know that your language level will probably degrade after a while, because when you teach kids, you have to use very simple vocabulary, simple grammar, and you always use the same grueling kind of words and phrases. And if you're not tired, if you don't get tired of repetition, that can work for you. And another thing is that, so if you want to teach kids, you have to be able to, you need to know that you will have to work on your language more, a lot more, because it will degrade. The second thing is that kids take a lot of energy. They require you to switch between different exercises every minute, 2 minutes. They don't maintain focus for too long. Their attention is shit, sorry. But they give back a lot, right? So they take a lot. You will be drained like, a lemon after the lesson, but they will also give you back a lot. They're very rewarding students. They always say how much they love you, how much they thank you. They will, if it's offline, they will come up and hug you or kiss you or whatever. Like, they will give you little gifts or notes, and they will draw hearts for you. So they're very rewarding. They give a lot back, but they take so much from you. So you have to have a lot of energy. You will get some back, but you have to give it. You have to have it to give it in the first place. So your language will degrade. Your energy will drain. I don't like teaching kids. I mean, they are very nice. They're very sweet. But you have to have a certain personality to teach kids. And if you have that personality, you know it. If you have any doubts, don't. If you have this question, don't teach kids. You can move on to teens. Teens are fun. But you have to be young at heart to teach teens, because they will rebel. They will question everything you say. They will test the boundaries, but they're also so inspirational. They are interested. They burn with knowledge, with interest, with eagerness to learn more about the world. And so if you provide them enough opportunity to learn what they want and how they want, and to test, different theories and experiment, they will be extremely rewarding, but they will not take as much back from you. And then adults is the safest. I think that's why I teach only adults. It's easy to teach adults, to me. You just need to be self-confident, be sure in your expertise, and know that you're the boss, because you know better here as a teacher. Is if you have very low self-esteem, it will be difficult for you to teach adults. So you need to work on your self-esteem first. I'm done. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Paulina. Thank you very much. Nastya, what about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree, because I had experience working with all age groups on oh god, kids are wild. I felt so drained after. I mean, I totally agree with everything Paulina has said about them. Extremely rewarding, but like me personally, I felt drained, and I realize now that this age group is not for me. But teens, I don't really work with them a lot, but still, it's much easier for me. It's quite interesting. So let's say, like, for me, it would be all the teens and adults.
Thank you, Nastya.
Just because, yeah, that's it.
Osama, anything to share?
I think it depends on your personality, of course, and what you prefer. And I think it's easy because there are big differences, as Paulina said, between teaching teens, adults, and kids. So you can see for yourself what you want. I know that I can only teach. I tried to teach kids, but I didn't like it. It was successful, but I didn't like it. I think I taught teens, and it was successful. but I didn't like it. I like to discuss big ideas and general knowledge and have an adult conversation. So I wasn't very interested. I think it's easy to know for yourself what you're interested in, what you like to do, what you find yourself doing better or best, and that's it. There are clear, huge differences between them, so it's easy to choose for yourself, I think.
Yeah, thank you, Sama. And Maria, do you have anything to share?
No, I have a lot to share. So 2 years ago, I took kids groups, 5, 6 years old, and I was really like confused whether like could be really beneficial for both of us, like for both kids and me, of course. And actually, like I was adapting to like whole kind of like thing, and it was I guess the biggest challenge in my life, because I understood like just like in my soul, I'm like an entertainer for sure. I like entertaining people just in general, and kids, they need this sort of personality, like just Paulina had just been describing us. So really like constantly like grabbing their attention and switching to different subjects and paying a lot of attention to every student. But of course, the like dynamics should be very much like I would say consistent in a way, because otherwise they will definitely disrupt the discipline, and they won't just give a thing that you just prepare the whole lesson. So my approach is to actually like prepare some nice content, or just like with videos, like method. You of course you might have you basically aware of like CLIL method, like content language integrated learning. So just like embed this subject content into the lesson, and so they of course will be very much interested, especially like animals, biology. So they will be in awe of all different things, chemistry. And if you can prepare some home task based on this principle, when they can just do some experiments, but it's just time consuming, it's energetically very much withdrawing, and I'm not sure, like I even taught online classes, and it is very, very challenging, I should say. Just like should be a particular environment for them. Then in just combination of all these factors, it might work. That's why for me, it's just much easier to prepare some kind of like particular lesson for IT companies, or for medical interns, than for kids, because I tried it. I had the best intentions, but I think it was successful, quite successful. I can't say just very successful, because I had some feedback from parents, of course, but still not my cup of tea, to be honest. Like teens, yes, maybe teens, so for sure, but some of them can be also like very moody and introvertish in a way, and sometimes it can be just like they don't need any groups, only like individual lessons, and you don't decide in this situation whether you can offer some alternative, and this is a disaster, and it happened with me some time ago. Yeah.
Thank you,
So
Maria. Thank you for sharing. Well, as far as we can see, a lot of experiences, right? Do not work with kids. But what I would like to share is you actually never know how childish your adult student is. And nothing can be worse than teaching an adult who is a child inside. Like, really, believe me, it was my worst experience. The adult guy, but inside of him is really a child who doesn't want to do anything. He doesn't understand why he needs English in his 30s. It's like his mom who asked me to teach him. So it's basically, yeah. What I can say is, before rejecting or accepting a student, it's always a good idea. And I would say like it's mandatory to have a test lesson, just to speak to them, to understand what kind of a person it is, because there can be very wise people among kids sometimes, and you will be amazingly surprised how smart they are, and they are even more focused than you are sometimes. So yeah, people are different, and of course, like, you never know, so speak before committing, and try to understand what kind of a person it is. I would say how to choose the age group, just to follow your personal preferences, because this is you who is going to be responsible for that, and this is you who are committing. Yes, Polina.
You said something very important that I always advocate for. The first lesson is not only for the student to see if they like you, it's for you as a teacher to see if you like working with the student, and you can say no. It's all right. Teachers forget that. You have a say. It's okay to reject students. You have to be able to say no to students. So treat the first ever lesson as, you know, do you like working with a student, rather than focusing on whether they like working with you. Switch the focus, and then it will work.
It works with all the areas. I mean, like the previous question, also keep it in mind when you choose people to work together with you in your team, you can reject after the interview. Okay, the next one. Digital tools for creating engaging lessons and how to use Amazy. There is a great video on YouTube, and you can watch it because it's pretty much about every tool. And we actually don't see a lot of sense in committing time on our mastermind.
But I think we can allow people here now to maybe ask questions if they have any particular questions about the platform, tools, and how to use it, rather than, you know, just talking about the whole functionality of the platform. So if you have anything that you want to ask about the platform and how to use it.
Yeah, anything in particular, like sharing tools, monetization, and I don't know, like anything. No. Okay, let's move on. How to improve teaching skills, how to find new students. Okay, Polina, what about you?
Well, as with every profession, you have to keep growing. You have to keep up to date with latest developments. So it's important to follow a lot of different teaching groups. Go on LinkedIn, create a profile, connect with educators from different countries, and see what they talk about. So see what kind of things come up in conversations and posts. What is trendy right now?
Yes, can I please add very quickly here? As we know, in Russia, LinkedIn is blocked. I don't know if it's blocked in Egypt or any other country. So anyway, use VPN. And I know that it can be challenging first several weeks to try to use LinkedIn, because you need to understand how it works, but it's really worth it. I mean, because it's the source of great professionals who share their experience in their posts, and it's very, very much inspiring and very engaging. It's not just, I know that a lot of people try to follow people on Instagram in order to get some source of inspiration or source of experience. Believe me, there is no comparison. LinkedIn, Instagram, or LinkedIn, Facebook communities, nothing to compare. LinkedIn is a very the audience of LinkedIn has a very deep understanding of their profession, because it's like your online CV. You can meet people who share the same areas of work, and you can get a lot from these professionals, because they share a lot of free resources for teaching, a lot of free lesson plans, and different books. So it's very, very much worth it. Yeah. Osama.
I just want to say that I have to leave because I have a class now. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, and thanks. I'll definitely watch this later. Thanks for everyone, and see you later.
I'm very happy to see you. Bye, Osama.
Have a great lesson.
Bye. Thank you.
Me too.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Bye. And also, ladies, I'm so sorry, but I have to go as well. It was wonderful. I will be waiting for our next meeting. So yeah.
Okay,
just
nice.
have a great day.
Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. So yeah, teaching skills, online events, masterclass, masterminds, online communities, LinkedIn profiles. This is the best. Any other ideas? Larissa, what about you? How do you improve your teaching skills?
To tell the truth, right now I don't improve my teaching skill. No, I'm lying, because I'm visiting Usama's meetings. One, then the teacher meetings with Anastasia today, Mastermind, and before I had my own lessons for me. Every Wednesday I had lessons with native with one British guy
Very
teacher.
nice. Very nice.
To
Elizabeth.
improve my pronunciation. The aim was I wanted to have British accent, but now we stopped our meetings.
Why did you stop?
And I went to Europe for 1 month and a half. I made a small tour, and then he went to somewhere. I don't remember.
Okay. Time management
So
issues.
yes.
Thank you, Larissa, for sharing. Elizabeth,
But this sorry, Ekaterina, I checked LinkedIn. Yeah, LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, yes.
Yes, it's about some professional. It's American social network for. But
like
how to find
Facebook.
your English teaching or Spanish teaching? How to find?
In the search, you have to connect with people. You can connect with me and Polina, and we have a lot of teachers in our connections. So you cannot just add friends like on Facebook. You should be friends with somebody else to be friends with their friends.
I have a German server on my laptop. My friend did it for me. So can you share, Polina, maybe later in our chat there, how to find you there?
I will send a link to my LinkedIn account for sure.
You can actually find Polina's profile on Amazy, and she has the links to her social network there.
Okay, understood. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Larissa. Елизавета, what about you? How do you improve your teaching skills?
I've started to pass on Cambridge exams, so I started to get the certificates since I was 14. I usually go abroad, participate in some volunteer projects. So there are no Russians at all. So you can practice. I usually go abroad once a year. Podcasts are helpful, of course, and movies. Mastermind.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I think.
Maria, what about you?
I'm actually like pursuing the same approach. So I passed CPE, passed back. So, but I'm gonna just upgrade my back this year. So literally I'm going to pass the first module of Delta this year because I have already passed the interview. So pretty much everything that can contribute to like developing teaching skills. I still think that Delta is a great course for again exchanging the experience. Like again, you have certain feedback. The most significant part of it is that you definitely have the feedback from teacher trainer. Maybe the whole course nowadays maybe it's just a little bit outdated because again digital technologies change everything like down to the bottom. I don't know. But still, like you have the teacher trainer feedback, you have for students, and you can definitely improve for the class management skills, and especially like when you have mixed abilities classes. So you don't see that much during the lesson, but when you have some objective opinion of somebody who's observing you, that gives you the idea what you should improve. So, and of course, yeah, like Cambridge exams, really great idea to challenge yourself. And yeah, like I do remember, like I passed back with relatively low result for me, and so I was disappointed. Now I'm going to upgrade it. So it always helps. Yeah, I think it really it works for me, for everyone, definitely.
Thank you very much, Maria. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, what I would like to add is we were all talking mainly about how to improve your English proficiency, right? Not exactly, well, about teaching skills also, but when it comes to teaching skills, for me personally, it's about the community, right? You should be surrounded by people who are in the same careers. And as Maria mentioned in Delta, this is one of the most amazing things, that there is somebody who gives you feedback. Share your lesson plans, get some feedback. I don't know, find a friend in your team, at work, or in some communities, and find somebody just to share your content you create, and the content that helps you to make lesson plans, and just request some feedback. And of course, in exchange, give some feedback also, because giving feedback is also very, very important when it comes to learning, when it comes to improving your teaching skills, because this is how you actually reflect on how would you do, what would you do, and which ways would you choose. And I would say that Amazy community is one of the best places to show your skills and to maybe get some experience, even if you, for example, add just a small note at the very beginning of your lesson, like, dear colleagues, please contact me. Please don't hesitate to contact me if you have any questions, any suggestions, and any feedback. I will be very happy to listen to it. Yes, Maria.
I just wanted to, yeah, contribute to that. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. I'm not sure about like how we can, for example, think of like rewarding the proofreaders of the content, because yeah, like still it's like people just spend time on that, and maybe using some, maybe kind of like scores. I don't know. I think it can be done digitally to reward some proofreaders of the content, for example, who can suggest some maybe not like improvements, but ideas how to enhance a certain activity. Or we can discuss it maybe time to time, just like how some certain things can be improved. So just like more like a workshop mastermind, if like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
like
great idea. We were actually talking together with Paulina about that we need to set a certain mastermind for just focused on Amazy tools and lesson planning, creating lesson plans on Amazy, and discussing what it looks like, and good examples, not very good examples, how to improve your own content, etc.
Yeah, I think it could be really great and like the most beneficial workshop for all of us, because normally we almost like I guess all of us rely on some positive experience, like when one lesson just like we already tried on some student and it was really great experience, and we think, okay, so there is nothing to improve, like it works absolutely perfect the way I wanted it. And so we just like literally use the same, for example, lesson for some groups, but it might not work in this way. And we just kind of like sometimes confused why it didn't just work the way we wanted it. So can happen too. So in my opinion, yeah, like when we have objective assessment of each other, so we have the idea like how to improve certain things in the lesson for particularly groups. I guess it really like helps us to polish our skills in content creating too.
That's true. Thank you very much, Maria. Does anyone want to add anything? No, okay. Then the second part of this question is how to find new students. And here, before you start sharing, I would like to share my own experience. And I think LinkedIn is the best source of it. Also nowadays, especially if you need some students who would pay from abroad, who would pay if you have the opportunity to accept these payments. And or in other options are to try to find some local Facebook communities that are linked to your living area, or VK is a great source of students if you're talking about people from Russia. Also, actually any kind of social network, right? But the best is, of course, when your current students recommend you to their friends. So it's like recommendations, and it's the greatest way to find new clients. So try your best to be the best teacher for them, and it will be rewarded. Also, again, I can't but mention Amazy in this case, because it's also another way to demonstrate your talent and to gain audience, to attract new students. Then anybody else wants to share their opinions here? Maybe Polina.
The first thing you have to do is, send the word out there that you are looking for students. A lot of teachers, they say, I don't have any new students. I don't know where to find them, but have you told anybody you're looking for students? I would say you have Instagram account, probably. Make a story that you're looking for students, that you have slots available. Ask your friends to repost your post about the fact that you're looking for students. Ask your students to recommend you in their Instagram accounts. Maybe not just, not necessarily recommend, but just say a few kind words that I have this teacher is amazing, here's a link. Maybe you would like to also get a teacher. Get the word out there. That's the first and most important thing to do. Everything else is just, very basic. This is the first thing.
Even on your Amazy profile, you can add in bio, right? In your short section of description of yourself, you can add, I am open and I have some slots. Currently, I have 2 slots available. I'm currently open for new students. Please contact me. Yeah, Maria.
Who checks these profiles? For example, I will put today, and who will check this?
Anybody who sees your content in the community. When you share content on Amazy community, people can click on the author and they can see your profile. It can be other teachers, it can be students, it can be anybody. Or you can share this link to your profile on your social media, and people will see the information about yourself, your professional background, and also the content that you create. It will give them the full picture of your professional profile.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Maria, did you want to?
I think, yeah, like LinkedIn and definitely Facebook never worked for me, because I think I don't know, just for some reasons I post more travel content. This is my problem, and I guess I just will sort things out and start doing some YouTube shorts. I think like I just it came across ones that people prefer kind of entertaining content, and to attract new audience, you definitely have to be creative in a way. So I think YouTube shorts and just start making some particular content in Telegram. I think that might work, in my opinion. Yeah, but but there are thousands of ways mentioned here that also work for everyone, for sure.
Yeah, just maybe also it's very important not to give up and continue trying to find new students, because many people, they try, they do not succeed, and they feel awful and they stop. Don't stop. Elizaveta, what about you? What do you think?
It's really hard for me to find students. I started doing it in Profiro, but you should pay. So that's a big problem for me. I know that there are a lot of accounts on Instagram. You can become a blogger, for example, and just to have an English blog, maybe. I know that a lot of students check there. Yep.
Also,
Maybe.
another tip is just think maybe some of your friends is a good salesperson, And just to have the agreement with this friend, like, okay, listen, if you find me a new student, I will pay you one lesson. Like, you know, if your lesson is like, for example, 1,000, you will just pay this 1,000 to your friend who brings you this person. But this friend should be really communicative and should have a lot of people around them. Because, it's about trust. Again, they have their personal network. Everybody knows that they are not working as a salesperson for any online school. Just a true recommendation. I have a great friend. She's an English teacher, and you know, she has currently one slot available. So if you want to improve your skills, something like that, it can work.
Or
Because-
paid bloggers. I paid
Yeah.
bloggers in Instagram.
Sorry?
Or to pay to bloggers in Instagram.
Yes. It's all about promotion. And unfortunately or fortunately, well, this is how the economy works. You have to pay first, then you have to, before you get some profit. It's okay. I mean, it's like a small investment, maybe not small, dependent on your final goal, right? Yeah, but I know that a lot of people, they say, I'm not good at sales. Well, nobody is good at sales. Everybody hates it, believe me. Even salespeople. It's always embarrassing, like when you approach the people and say, do you want to buy this? Would you like to buy this? And everybody says, like, go away from me. Yeah, so you need somebody who will help you to sell yourself if you can't do it yourself. Okay, the next question. Speaking and soft skills. I assume the question is how to develop speaking and soft skills. We have already mentioned, right, that to improve your speaking skills, you should go abroad, you should train your language, you should have some international certificates. It's about the community, about your colleagues, and about teachers of English, native teachers, etc. What about soft skills? Can you share your opinion about how to improve your soft skills? Larissa, what about you?
Soft skills, you mean how to technical side?
Soft skills, empathy, leadership, time management, how to improve it.
How I improve it. I don't improve it. But time management, I think I manage this because I have my schedule and I follow it.
Okay.
So what else there except the time management?
Time management, leadership, empathy, I don't know, flexibility. Well, basically soft skills are the skills you do not learn at university, rather than you just gain this abilities during your work experience, communication experience. It's more about
Yes, this I get during my work experience.
Okay.
But I don't know how I improve them. I hope that I improve them much. I improved them a lot last 4 years as I started online teaching.
Okay.
And I experiment with different groups from children, then adults, teenagers and adults. So
well, it actually teaches you a lot if you have different age groups, different people who you teach.
Yes, first I taught English, then I started Spanish. Now I stopped on Spanish because I love this language and I realized that I have success in Spanish, teaching Spanish, not English.
And that's amazing.
So, yes. And I improved. I know that I improved a lot. I have experience of leading speaking clubs in Spanish, several marathons that I announce in Instagram, and sometimes I do some marathons, and so I attract clients like this.
That's great. Thank you so much for sharing. Maria, what about you? I have a feeling that you can share something about soft skills.
I'm just like everyone else. It should be I think clear that you have some room for improvement first of all. So like to realize that you need to work over that. So like I, for example, sometimes do a lot of things at the same time, kind of like pretending to be multifunctional, but I'm actually not sometimes. I'm a little bit chaotic, and so I know that this is my problem, and I'm trying to literally like do things step by step and just like set the priorities. So for first thing first is to like realize the necessity to work over that. For example, you mentioned like marketing strategies, and of course I need to work over that. And I just understand that I have some like problems with it, and definitely I need to like go out of my comfort zone and to take a challenge and literally do something that I didn't try before. So I think this is the main point for everything, pretty much. Just like you don't feel like in a comfortable zone, but not in your skin, but still when it works, you just like on cloud 7. So I think that's the idea, just to understand what you need to deal with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's totally true. Елизавета, what about you and soft skills? How do you improve those?
I think it comes from experience. You should, if you don't communicate, you can't be a teacher.
Yeah, exactly.
So it depends on the personality, I think, on the character. So I don't think that we can adopt it. So
Yeah. Thank you so much, Paulina. What
can't
about you?
develop it. That's my opinion.
The problem with soft skills is that they are impossible to measure. They're immeasurable things. How do you measure leadership? How do you quantify time? Like probably time management is easier to quantify, but like they are not quantifiable. So it's really hard to understand how to improve them sometimes.
I think it depends on the results of your work that are achieved with the help of these soft skills. If you are a good leader, it means that you have an amazing team and great results, meaning your leadership skills are okay, right?
Or I think you can ask people for feedback. Ask
Yeah,
other people for feedback. That's all about communication. So soft skills are about dealing with other people. Ask them. Maybe they can be a measure.
Yeah. What I think is, of course, putting yourself in a not common circumstances, new context, and it will generate a great stress for you. And stress is always about learning. Evolution is always painful. You should remember that. And it gives you a lot of new soft skills, of course, but it can be a little bit traumatizing experience. You should always remember that, right? To learn how to be flexible requires a lot of stressful situations where you should be flexible. To learn how to be a good leader requires a lot of situations when you have to accept a lot of responsibilities and to be able to cope with them, etc., etc., etc. So I would say yes, agree with everybody here, and especially with the fact that yes, you should go out of your comfort zone. I know it sounds a little bit cliche, but yes, it's true. And be ready to feel a little bit of pain and accept it, enjoy it, and turn it into your power. Okay, let's move on to the last question. And it's about vocabulary retention, revision, and fostering students' autonomy. I think it's the dream of any teacher to make your students independent and like to make them adult in this path of learning English and any other skill. So anybody wants to start sharing? Yes, Paulina.
I also wanted to clarify the question. I simplified it a little bit here, but the question was, how do you make students learn vocabulary outside of the class and use it? And, you know, you've covered the topic, some time has passed, the student, will they remember the vocabulary? Will they use it? So it's about making them probably come back sometimes to what you've covered and learned and so on. I think Amazy is perfect for that. Truly, like this is one of the main advantages of our platform, is that truly fosters student autonomy, because students have access to everything they've covered. It's a very easy access. They can always open previous lessons, refer to previous notes they've taken and so on. And another thing is that so many tools that we have, they are directed At that, starting from voice recorder, ask your students to record answers to you using new vocabulary. Writing word counter, ask the students to write a short passage using new vocabulary. A lot of other things. So basically, give them the means to use new vocabulary and encourage that. Oh, and one more thing, you yourself need to use the vocabulary you want them to remember when you speak in class.
That's probably the most challenging for any teacher, to remember each student needs each vocabulary list.
I know.
Yeah.
And that's why you can open all the lessons you've had with a student before the lesson and just quickly remember, oh yeah, we've done this and that and that and that.
Exactly. Very nice. Thank you very much, Polina. It's very useful. Yelizaveta, what about you?
Yep. Actually, I definitely agree. I usually use the whole vocab, and I make Quizlet cards, so all the students do it not every day, but when they have leisure time. So I think that if the unit is interesting for the student, he will do it definitely. So they're adults, they are not kids. So, yep.
Yeah, exactly. When you make the content for the lesson a little bit, maybe a little bit personalized, a little bit about the area they are interested in. And of course, when it comes to their personal interests, the chances they will remember the vocabulary are always higher. Actually, I recently read one research that showed 40% of students who were learning foreign languages for using personalized lesson plans and personalized educational content, their results, their academic achievements were 40% higher than all the others. So it actually gives a lot, right?
Mhm.
Larissa. Oh, sorry. Yes.
They make short stories, like they have to write a short story to use the whole vocabulary, especially if it's a grammar. They all have problems with the grammar, and they retell it. They don't focus on the grammar, they don't focus on the vocab, they just try to speak. I think that's the main part of the lesson.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you so much.
There is one more thing. I think it was mentioned in one of our previous masterminds, or maybe I heard it. No, I probably heard it at a conference. Anyway, journaling. Journaling is extremely important. Encourage your students to write down, like to keep their learning diaries. They have to write down what they've learned, what they want to learn all the time. And maybe write things in English in the morning, you know, about their dreams, about their mood, about anything. So journaling, and specifically journaling for your lessons, is a fantastic tool to increase student autonomy, and that will consequentially improve vocabulary retention as well.
Great. Thank you, Polina. That's very insightful. Larissa, what about you?
Several years ago, I studied French because I wanted to move to France. And my teacher asked me, I remember, to start diary in French. So every day or every 2-3 days, just write there in Word with photos, maybe simple phrases, what I did, what I plan to do, diary. So, and this method now I give to my students. So when they have level A1 or to the finish A1, A2, I usually say, oh, let's start your diary, and you can send me. For example, I will read. So you can put their photos. Some creative students, they like this very much.
That's amazing, really amazing. I also remember using these kind of tasks for my students when I was a teacher, when I taught English as a foreign language. And I think it's also the answer to one of the previous questions, how to improve your teaching skills. If you have a teacher, if you learn a language yourself, like if you have some experience of learning a new language, you see how other people teach you, you can then adapt these techniques on your own lessons, right?
About vocabulary, for example, I create for every lesson Quizlet cards. And today, for example, I gave to my student to describe a picture. So we studied some vocabulary, describing people. So then your home task is describe the picture, Quizlets. So to
Thank you so much, Larissa.
practice vocabulary.
And Maria, what about you? What do you think?
Well, I actually also was coming through the pain of learning another foreign language, particularly German. And in German language, of course, the vocabulary is the hardest thing to just deal with, and pretty much it's absolutely I don't know, some kind of unhuman ability to learn so many not related to each other words, like they semantically not related, and sometimes you just don't understand the logics behind it. Well, that's why I think I've applied pretty much the same methods that I had been using for myself. First of all, it's like associating method when students, for example, are at the same context situation for quite a few lessons at the same kind of context topic, for example, like shopping or maybe traveling. And so we just learn the vocabulary in chunks, and simultaneously we, for example, learning grammar in context, like countables, uncountables, superlatives, comparative degrees, and just other indefinite pronouns. So just we shouldn't really turn to another topic after only just one or two lessons, because it will confuse student, and he will not have the time to, let's say, digest all this amount of vocabulary, in my opinion. So sometimes it seems to be absolutely appropriate to hold this context topic for quite a few lessons to just create a certain, again, context environment for the students, in my opinion, because it's just, in my experience, it worked really well for the students.
Okay, very nice. Thank you very much. Any other ideas about this last question? No ideas. Yeah, I can share my experience. Well, I'm also a student and I learn Chinese. Well, actually, I have been learning it since 2018. And I used to try learning vocabulary on my own after each lesson. And I used to complete all my home tasks at the very beginning, because if you don't complete your home tasks at the beginning, you will not improve. But now I would say for the last 3 or 2 years, I stopped doing my homework. I stopped learning the vocabulary, although my husband has developed an application to learn Chinese characters, and I'm not learning it. This is awful. I'm an awful student and I'm an awful wife.
Ekaterina, can you share with me, because I'm learning Chinese today in the morning? I had Chinese lesson.
Yeah, the application is called Laoshi.io. If you basically type Laoshi in App Store or Google Play, you will have it. It's very popular.
Laoshi.
Laoshi.io. Yeah, so for me personally, it's important when I can use the vocabulary I have learned at the lesson in the context of my daily routine, daily life. It doesn't work with Chinese at the moment, but it worked with my Spanish classes at some point in the past. And this is how I think I managed to learn it. And now I am able to speak it. So Laoshi is one of the recommendations. That's amazing. Thank you so much.
I can't find it. Laoshi, nothing.
Nothing? Where are you looking for it? In App Store or?
App Stores, yeah.
Just try to tap Laoshi. In Russian, in English, in different ways, okay? Yeah, so the context and maybe something that connects the vocabulary and your student in an emotional way. I mean, films, TV shows, anything that will trigger them to get these positive emotions, maybe negative, well, in sort of stress when they watch a horror movie or when they listen to a true crime podcast, right? These are still emotions, and the emotions, they usually trigger the memory and they can remember the vocabulary very well. This is what people usually use when it comes to intensive courses. It's not like short courses, but it's rather like about deep learning. When you create some role plays at the lesson and people have to deal with a problem or an issue, they have to use their target vocabulary, and at the same time they will experience different emotions because these role plays, these are usually some not typical situations, some, I don't know, funny situations, or scary situations, and people can enjoy it because they can have this, like, you know, role-playing experience, and they can remember the vocabulary because they played this or that role, right? Once I had a group of people, it was a corporate course, and there was this woman from the accountant department, you know, she was very nice, funny, and always drinking tea with cookies. And once I gave her a role of the mafia boss, oh, she was happy, and she remembered all the vocabulary, and everybody was laughing, everybody was happy. So maybe trying something like that. This is how you activate the speaking skills of your students, and using them, make them use target vocabulary at the lesson. It works with students like me who doesn't do anything at home. Yeah, that's probably it. Any other ideas? Paulina, you're muted.
Sorry, yes, I think we have to finish. We've already run out of time. It's been
Oh,
90 minutes already. Thank you all very much for coming here today, for sharing your ideas, your vision, for devoting your time to us. Thank you, Ekaterina, for sharing your experience and expertise and for hosting this amazing mastermind. I hope we will have other masterminds like this in the future.
I really enjoyed. Thank you, everyone, and it was my great pleasure. Thank
As
you so
always, we will share the recording of the meeting with the notes on our YouTube and in the chat. Amazing teachers.
Somebody wants to join right now in the
Yeah, it's so late. They
okay,
they
guys,
wasted the
nice
opportunity.
day today.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
everyone.
Bye bye.